Walmart Massmart.
Magnificent news.
Yes.
Much more important than us winning the World Cup, much more important than the elections, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you can't get more positive than that. You know, things are always touch and go in South Africa when it comes to economic policy. But I am absolutely thrilled by the outcome because effectively they said it's fine, it can go ahead, and the conditions are effectively those that the companies proposed themselves.
I chatted to Sid Vianello from Net Group Securities a little earlier, and he was talking about the condition that 2 years they're not allowed to see any retrenchments. He thinks that we will definitely not see any retrenchments. In fact, we'll see Walmart Massmart, the combined entity, employing a whole lot more people. Is that your sentiment too?
Well, I think it's a great shame because when I go into macro stores, there are about 500 of those guys wearing yellow uniforms. They're all utterly useless. And if the company was able to fire more of them, I think that would be a fantastic outcome for shareholders. But having said that, I actually don't think this is relevant at all because big companies like that, especially when they're growing in a recovering economy, are not going to be firing anybody anyway.
How many stores have you gone to that you can come to that assumption where people need to be fired? That's
I can think of a few in the northern Joburg area. Where really, you know, it's only due to the ingenuity of the customers that you're actually able to make it to the tills.
Should we pick a company?
Well,
perhaps that'll keep you in check because I'm worried about what's going to come out of your mouth next.
I've got the American Dart here, you know, in Massmart already.
Did you pick it for me?
Itself. No, I'll give you a chance. You can throw another.
Give me a chance. Thank you. Fantastic.
African Bank. Well, that's actually closer to Naspers. What's going on with Naspers? I thought Naspers was supposed to have its results out today.
I know, that's what you said last week Friday.
But they're cruising above 400 Rand a share, so people are obviously looking for great things.
And up quite dramatically. We know Tencent also gained over 2% in today's trade.
That's a great spot on the dartboard because that's right between Naspers and Able, two of my
Tell me,
favourite
Paul,
stocks.
if you weren't in Massmart right now, if you hadn't bought, would you be buying at this point?
Well, I heard the question earlier. The real way to answer that is if you're not in it now, you've got to wait for the transaction to proceed in terms of it going X the scheme. There's no point sticking money in now and getting half of it back in a couple of weeks' time. You're just going to lose on the transaction costs. So wait and see, because I also think once it goes X the scheme, it's going to fall because then it's back to kind of square one and what you're going to do in terms of profits. So, I mean, I think the logical thing to do is not to be buying them now. If you own them already, then I suppose you wait and see, and if you like it, you take the net proceeds of the purchase of half and use that to buy back in.
Okay, so stocks in today's session which have been twisting your mind, essentially.
You know, I mean, talk about disasters and supply chain blowouts, but Telkom comes to mind, writing off another big amount in Nigeria.
And headline earnings per share down as much as 45% is what they say.
So they continue to flounder around. I mean, that's got to be on the top of the list. I saw Oando was up hugely. It crossed my mind that maybe, you know, Telkom owed them some money in Nigeria. That's just a random thought. But then again, Nokia, which is a stock we held internationally.
Up dramatically, 13% or so.
No, down dramatically, sadly. I mean, they're in recovery, rebuild mode. Remember, they got the new CEO, the ex-Windows guy. But basically, profits looking terrible. So the air pocket between now and where they get to this new future using Windows as an operating system.
Do you know what other story I found quite fascinating is that Samsung is asking a court to get Apple's I think an iPad.
That's so ridiculous. iPad 3 and the iPhone 5.
No, but remember, it's because Apple had a court interdict against Samsung to get their Galaxy and other products as well.
Really?
So
I've missed that
show me
detail.
yours so you can show me mine. Yes, of course, Paul.
I suppose it's got to do with,
you're not supposed to read the first 3 headlines in a story.
Okay, but you know what? I don't want to use any more time talking. What I really want to do is a promo for my show tonight. 8:30. We're going to be discussing the 5 items that make you a great investor.
Yes.
You've got to be a great dart thrower, you've got to have long flowing black hair, and some other things.
Okay, Paul, thank you so much for joining us today. In fact, I'm going to squeeze one more now. No, I'm not supposed to. Dominic Strauss-Kahn, what does he have in common with Egyptian bankers?
Oh no, this is like, you know, Maid Raid 2. You'd swear that people that were traveling on business in New York would know better than to stay away from the cleaners.